Convolution plugins are a secret weapon for music production, mixing, and even sound design. The technology is complex, but using it is really simple. But what is convolution? Simply put, convolution is taking the characteristics of a sound and applying them to another sound. More in depth, convolution is what's called a cross synthesis, when you will combine two sounds. One is the input, for example, dispatch, and the other is the impulse response, which usually is a small burst of sound in some space, hardware unit, or whatever. In this case, in St. Peter's Cathedral Saint. What the cross-synthesis do is that it will take both sounds, the impulse response and the input, and accentuate the frequencies they have in common. If the sounds get darker or anything, it's going to affect on the same way the original signal. Because of that, convolution devices are used a lot for reverbs. And on that matter, you get reverbs of real spaces, but also of hardware and digital reverbs. But convolution is so much more than that, because any sound can be an impulse response. Because of that, convolution lets you recreate cabinets and even microphones.
All we know is falling down, all we know is falling down,
Of course, this doesn't replace a professional microphone, but it helps achieving an effect. I personally love convolution, and even one of my favorite reverbs is convolution based. Reverbs with classes uses IR Fusion, which is a technology by Liquid Sonics to let you not only use impulse responses but also change them according to your needs. And the thing with Reverbs with Classics is that it has a lot of impulse responses of classic hardware reverbs. My favorites comes from the FG BM7, which are impulse responses of the Bricasti M7. For example, I love the Marble Foyer algorithm for drums. Or for instance the A-plate from the Lexicon 480.
When you're standing so close, you'll never let go.
Remember that they are audio files, so in a convolution plugin you can drag and drop any sound you want, and because of that there are a lot of libraries where you can find different impulse responses for classic reverbs, real spaces, cabinets, microphones, whatever you need. And if your DaveO doesn't have one, you can get a really nice convolution plugin for free, which is called Convolution XT. Now, a great thing is that many plugins and devices will let you edit your impulse response. For example, let's go back to the Convolution by Bitwig. And as you can see, we can change the amplitude of the start, the mids, and the end. And if you like the sound, but you don't want a reverb that lasts 7 seconds, you can just shorten it. And even change the starting point. We can get experimental kind of impulse responses that are not emulating anything. That's why I like the synthetic impulse responses that come with Bitwig. The other great library is the one that comes with the kilohertz convolver. You even have some delays, some filters, and of course experimental stuff. If you ever wonder how a drum will sound inside a cookie jar, well, here you have it. Kilohertz even has impulse responses based on chords. Not only that, many convolution plugins will let you put your own custom folder for impulse responses, and some, like the Convolution from Bitwig, will let you drag and drop samples into the device.
Oh yeah!
I love to do it, especially with rhythmic things. Of course, you have to be careful because more often than not, you will have some peaks on volume and resonances. Now, of course, you can make your own impulse responses. You just have to get experimental, create a sound, and render it into an audio file. For example, we can make some kind of rhythmic delay. For that, I will take white noise and I'm going to modulate the volume with this rhythmic shape on LFO1. I also want to modulate the panning, and the result is this. So then we have to render it, and now we just drag and drop it into our convolution device. You see that we have the same rhythmic effect, and not only that, the same panning automation that we did on Vital. As you saw, it's really simple to use, and it's not complicated to make your own impulse responses. I'm going to link Convolution XT on the description, but first check if your DaveO has its own Convolution stock plugin. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a like, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!